Hi, welcome back to the Game Pass review series. This week's review we will be going through Doom Eternal. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please do so as it does help the channel go a long way. With that out of the way, let's start the review. The story is simple and fun. Earth has been overrun by demonic forces taking out around 60% of the planet's population. Humanity that has survived have either fled Earth or took up the fight to create a resistance army. After suffering many losses against the demon invasion, the resistance has now gone into hiding. It almost feels like the story was made for the main protagonist to step in and save the day. That's when Doom Guy enters, and oh man does he enter. For a character that has little to no dialogue, he still manages to ooze charisma throughout the story, whether it be little touches with his animations, over the top gory kills, comedy moments, or terrified reactions from the demons that know of his long history. Doom Guy's easily become one of my favourite characters, and I have no shame in saying that it's his characteristics that carry this average story plot more entertaining and engaging.
What? Why?
If you like first person shooters that allow you to take cover and wait to pick your shots, you'll be in for a surprise to say the least. Doom gameplay is unforgiving and asks a lot of the player to play the way they intended. Action packed with its fast pace, it's easy to be overwhelmed for new players to the series like myself. After some time though, you'll be taking advantage of all the tools Doom provides and having a blast while doing it. Linking different combos on the fly, whether that be switching between your favourite guns, stage interactions, or taking advantage of the demon's weak spots. Doom plays as fun as it looks. What separates Doom from other games is the in-game mechanics and many options you have. One of them is the crazy amount of different demons and their weak spots, like the Arachnodrones. Packed with a long-range weapon on his back, shooting this off will completely disable any annoying shots from afar. The Cacro Demon. Firing a grenade launcher or frag into his mouth just before he attacks will kill him in seconds. Pinkies. Sidestepping or jumping over as it charges with you with full speed to shoot its sweet spot behind him to deal even more damage. And my personal favourite, the Archvile. Hiding somewhere around the level, Archvile will continually summon enhanced demons until you find and kill him. Taking him out should be top priority or you'll find yourself fighting in a never ending loop. There's so much more, and we haven't even talked about Doom Guy's equipment that can always be used. Equipped with a traditional frag that deals more damage than the ice frags that will temporarily freeze demons for a few seconds. Killing weaker demons with the chainsaw will grant you more ammo, or finishing them off with a gory kill to refill a portion of your health back. And of course, the flamethrower. Shooting an enemy that's on fire will give you armor. Trying to use the flamethrower in a crowded place to burn as many as you can is the best way to take advantage and gain even more armor. Remembering and applying all this while playing can be a headache at first, but once you come to grips with it, the game seamlessly flows with a satisfying payoff. Something that would help a game like this is guns. Finding the right balance between quantity and quality is vital. Doom Eternal exceeds expectations in both these categories. There's around 10 different guns you unlock during the campaign, all could be switched out and used at any time, providing you have enough ammo. Most of the guns showcase a great amount of variety and diversity between them all. You'll have your favourites that you'll find yourself going back to, like the good old classic super shotgun that works well up close with its powerful double barrel. The ballista has similarities to a crossbow, dealing bonus damage to flying enemies, but it doesn't end there. Each gun has two mod variations by holding the left shoulder button and pressing the D-pad to switch between the two. This completely changes the gun. Take the combat shotgun for example, a decent damaging shotgun with a good size clip when reloading. When using the first mod, it turns the gun into a grenade launcher with a sticky bomb. Useful for several situations like blowing up multiple enemies at once or a specific body part. Then we have the second mod, which does a complete 180 and becomes a full auto Gatling gun, perfect for high damage in a short amount of time in a one-on-one encounter. It almost feels like 3 guns for the price of 1. A lot of my enjoyment comes from discovering new guns with the mods and combining different ones depending on the types of demons I'm facing. The difficulty was spot on for me. I was playing on the standard mode and found it to be very challenging and died many times, forcing me to restart, adapt and improve each life. If you are insane or familiar with the series, you could go on the hardest difficulty for the ultimate hardcore playthrough, but I wouldn't advise this though. The toughest demons are introduced with a cool cinematic cutscene like the Marauder. Easily the hardest demon in the game. I would have compared him to a boss-like type, only to find him in the mix of a bunch of demons later on in late game. Be ready, as towards the end of the campaign everything is thrown at you, including the kitchen sink, for a demanding end.
My eyes have been opened. Let me help you to see, Slayer.
As well as the campaign, there's a multiplayer mode. Up to 3 players can play together, whereas one plays as Doomguy himself, facing off against the 2 others that play as demons from the campaign in the first of 3 rounds. Doomguy feels like playing single player with 2 buff demons being controlled by real people. Trying to outsmart them while fighting AI can be tough. Playing as demons on the other hand is more interesting in my opinion. Having the abilities from whatever demon you choose to play with is fun in itself. I must admit I'm more of a team deathmatch kind of guy. After a few plays I began to lose interest very fast and can't help but feel it sticks out like a sore thumb compared to the rest of the game. A big part of Doom is the music. It might not be for everyone with it being in line with heavy metal, but there's no arguing that it pumps you with adrenaline. It's definitely my cup of tea though. In fact, I often listen to the soundtrack from time to time on my way to work. The visuals and graphics look stunning, with levels taking place on a battered Earth, space and of course hell, changing the scenery just enough before getting too stale. The levels are quite linear but bursting with optional puzzles and hidden paths to find collectibles, presented in a neat tick list that shows your completion progression at the end of each level. There's a lot of different collectibles to find that adds an even further replay value and greatly impacts another important part of the game, the upgrade system. Just like the guns, there's so much content to dive into when upgrading. A total of 4 different types of collectibles scattered around the campaign, granting you many perks and bonuses. So let's try and break it down. Let's start with the runes. These work more in terms of customizing your playstyle, allowing you to create 3 perks at a time. I can't say which ones are the best, it comes down to the player's preferences and how he wants to tackle the game, like the Chrono Strike, temporarily slowing down time when aiming in mid-air. A more safety approach would be the save and throw perk, escaping that final blow that would have otherwise killed you. The second collectible is the suit tokens. These can be used to upgrade parts of your suit, such as switching between weapons faster, increasing the freeze time on your ice frags, and 23 more to unlock. The third collectibles are the toys. Okay, these don't do anything, but you have to admit they are pretty cute. But joking aside, finally we have the Sentinel crystals. These will buff your core mechanics, like increasing your maximum health, armor and ammunition that you can carry. But there's a twist. Unlocking 2 from the same branch will grant you an additional permanent perk, such as reduced cooldown on equipment, and so on. And we're not even done yet. As I said before, all guns come with 2 different mods. All mods can each be upgraded up to 3 times. Completely unlocking all upgrades for that one mod grants you a final perk that can only be obtained by completing a challenge, mostly asking you to kill several demons with that gun. Doom sets the bar very high when it comes to unlockables and upgrades. Even now I'm still replaying levels to try and 100% the game. The multiplayer doesn't reach the heights of the rest of the game and the story plot comes across as generic, but the gameplay more than makes up for it with a very fast, action-packed, not to mention the number of guns in the game and the amount of upgrades is insane. By far one of, if not the best I've seen in a first person shooter. I'm very confident in telling you to download now. Do not miss out on what could easily be Game of the Year. If you enjoyed this review, why not check out our other content where we do more reviews and talk about different gaming topics. I was Nathan and I'll see you in the next video, and as always, rip and tear.